We have some Apple Black Friday sales and some Apple news. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. So you know what we do on the weekends. We go through the Apple news. Today's a special edition though. I have a whole bunch of Apple related Black Friday specials. I'll be doing some other videos coming up here in the next week about all these different specials for Black Friday. Stay tuned for that. Also some more M4 Mac Mini videos. I love the thing. It's sitting right back there. You can see it. I love that computer. We're going to do some more videos on that as well. But without further ado, you know what we do on the weekends. I just go through a couple sales here, maybe 8 or 9 different sales. Then about this week about 10 or 15 different Apple-related news stories. I have a beer. Today I have a Polish beer called Perla. Pretty good. Sit back and relax, enjoy, kick up your feet, and let's go through sales and the Apple news. Okay, so we're going to start with some Apple sales right now going on, coming up on Black Friday. Take a look over here. Here we are, the Apple 2024 Mac Mini Desktop. Already, this is the base model, 16 gigs, 256, but already it's down to $559. Now that may seem like a good discount because it just came out, but look down here. Or basically you can get actually a coupon here for an additional $59.01 off. That brings that down to $499. You can see this is actually a great deal. There's one huge caveat though going on here. Take a look over here. It says usually ships within 1 to 2 months right now. So this thing's so popular sitting back here. I love that thing. It's so popular that you can't even get it, I guess, from Amazon right now. 1 to 2 months on that thing if you want to get that sale. So you got to weigh your options. It's only $100 off. And if you're going to be waiting a month or two, is it really worth it? I don't know. Okay, for sale number 2, this kind of goes with the Mac Mini back here. Although I showed in my last video this screen back here. It's $599, an incredible screen from BenQ. But if you want to get the original Apple Studio display, not the studio, the display, take a look here. $1,299 right now. This is the Apple Studio Display Standard Glass. It's on sale for $1,299, 19% off. So you're getting $300 off that price. This one is in stock, thank God, so you can get that right away. So that's one of the cheapest prices. I think I've seen it for $1,259 one time, but $1,299 is a killer deal. Maybe they'll price match at Best Buy and stuff, so check that out as well. So anyways, if you're looking for that great monitor, definitely pick this up. If you want to save some money, check out my last video on this one back here. Okay, so for this next one, I know a lot of people need these. I don't personally need these, but this is a really good sale here. This is the Apple AirPods Pro 2 wireless earbuds, $159 off. Lowest price in 30 days. It's usually $249. So you're getting $90 off right now. These are in stock right now for $159. You cannot go wrong with that. You gotta take it to Amazon. They're getting some good deals this year. So here we go. The next one out here, I kind of recommend this. So hear me out on this. Here we go. This is the Apple AirPods Max wireless over-ear headphones. Now this is the older version, but they're still new, mind you. $399 in stock. You're getting obviously 27% off, $150 off that cost. This is what I recommend you buy, right? And hear me out on this. So this is a $399. If you go to the next pair here, this is the more recent version that's just got the USB-C cable, $499. So we're talking $499 there versus $399, $100 savings just because of the USB-C versus Lightning cable. Everything else is exactly the same. So I would not pick these up for $499. I would get the ones for $399. And you can justify it this way. Would you buy a cable for $100, or would you even consider that, right? These little teeny cables. I mean, would it be worth $100 to you? I mean, how hard is it just to get an extender or plug it into something else? I mean, it's plugging into the device itself, so it just doesn't make any sense to me. I would just get the older version. It's exactly the same and save the $100. They're expensive as it is already, so while they're both on sale, this is $50 off, but the other one's $150. Take the other one. Okay, so cheers everyone on the weekend. You gotta like those kind of Polish beers. They have a unique taste to them, but I like them. All right, here we go. So if you have a kid or something, this is a great deal. Or even just want like a burner iPad. So over here, it's $279 right now. This is the Apple 10th generation. Now, we know the 11th generation is coming out. We know that. But this is the lowest price I've seen it. Usually $299, sometimes $279. But it gets better than that. Look at this. Down here, we have a coupon for another $29.01 off. So what does that make that? I think it's going to be obviously $249 or something. So it's going to go down to like $249 for this actual iPad, which is one incredible price. So I know the new one's coming out. People are going to argue this is going to be getting old and stuff, but for $250 roughly, let's just call it $250. This is the best device I think you can buy almost, besides the little thing back there for $599 or $500 on sale. That's probably way better. But still, for an iPad, this is the best. I would just pick this up. Don't even think about it. It's kind of like something you could take with you if you're traveling and someone steals it. You wouldn't care that much. Instead of a $1,200 or $1,500 device, it can do almost everything you need it to do. But with that coupon, you get it, and it's in stock as well. So what is it? $249 is the best I've ever seen it, and it's probably going to be the best it ever will be. Okay, we got our first sale at Best Buy here. I don't know if the international people can get to Best Buy, but I know US people can. Here we are right here. This is the Apple 13-inch iPad Pro M4 chip. So here we 256. It's more or less I guess the base model-ish, somewhere around there for the 13-inch. But it looks like it's $200 off. Usually $12.99, $200 off right now. Black Friday special deal right here from Best Buy. So I think that's comparable. I mean, I think it's a little bit better than what you can get on Amazon right now. So I just wanted to throw it out there. If you're looking for the kind of the flagship here, although this is just let me just see, I think this is just the Wi-Fi only, but still pretty good deal here for what it is. $200 off. Those came out not too long ago. Let's just keep moving down the list here. So we have a couple different ones here. Now you guys hear me out on this one. It's one of those things where should you buy this or should you not buy this? Because the M4 chips are just that good, but there's some really good deals out there. Take a look at this. This is the actual Apple 2024. This is the MacBook Air 13-inch. This is the M3 chip, mind you, but it comes with 16 gigs here, 256, but it's $844 right now. So we've talked about this before. I would actually consider this only because the Airs aren't coming out until probably March of next year. And for $844, it's 23% off the original cost. It's still an incredible deal. I actually have one sitting back there. I've showed it many times on my channel. I have an M2 Air, but the 15-inch, and it's a great system. So if you just need something basic and you want to pick it up, I don't think there's going to be a massive difference for a lot of these people, between the M3 and the M4. There is some big differences, but I think for the cost here, it's going to be a big savings for you. I would definitely consider this. It's just a good deal overall. And then the same thing with the 15-inch M3 MacBook Air right here. It's $1,044. You can see it. So the M3 chip, but this one's got 16 gigs of RAM again and 256 gigs. It's $1,044, so it's usually around $1,300. So you're getting like $250 off. It's 20% off. And again, I mean, is it going to make a huge difference going from this to the M4? Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, let's just be honest. Plus, you're going to have a few more months with it, and you're getting it for such a low cost. You can sell it maybe in a year or two for probably 70% of that cost for like $600 or $700. It's a no-brainer, I think. And a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon of the M4, and they're just that good. I admit it. But the Airs aren't even out yet, so if you need something like this for school or anything like that, I mean, these are great systems. In fact, hold on one second. I might as well show mine because I have it sitting right here. So I got this exact one, 15-inch, but mine's got the 512 gigs. But still, they're just a great system overall. I recommend them. I use them all the time. So if you're thinking just on the fence about it, the M3 will be fine. This is actually an M2. I apologize. This is actually an M2, but this is an M3. All right, let's keep moving here. So now we got a watch here. This is going to be, I think, the lowest price, at least I've seen. Here's the Apple Watch Series 10. This is going to be the brand new smartwatch here. Black aluminum case here, $329. Let me just see here, the 42 millimeter, 18% off. Usually $399, now $329. So you're getting, what is that, 70 something bucks or whatever, 60, 70 bucks off. Still a great deal because this thing just came out. You're not seeing sales like this. So I think this is a pretty good deal overall. And let's just kind of wrap this up. I think this is the last kind of, deal that we're going to have with Apple coming up here. But I'm going to do a couple of videos next week with this, with a whole bunch of stuff. Whole bunch of products, including like accessories. Not so much all Apple, but accessories for like the little Mac Mini back there. Subscribe if you can, if you want to see all that. I do that every year. We're going to do a huge one, maybe 30 to 40, 50 products. So stay tuned for that one. So here we go. This is the last one I kind of recommend here. This is actually a really good deal. It's the Apple 2024 MacBook Pro 16-inch with the M4, so brand new M4 chip. 14-core CPU, 20-core GPU, 16.2. So this is the 16.2-inch, 24 gigs and 512, $21.99 right now. So you're getting 12% off. Usually $24.99, $21.99 on the brand new 16-inch. Think about that for a second. Let that sink in. Usually $25. It came out a couple weeks ago, $21.99. And it's in stock over here. I guess a lot of people are buying that little mini so much, they're not really buying these too much. Who knows? But that's it. I've never seen, like, what is that, like a $300 off deal on the first 2 weeks. It's just insane. So if you need a 16-inch, this is the one you want to get. All right, so now we're going to get into more of the news here where I go through some news stories with my cynical approach. So sit back and relax and let's enjoy some of that. The first one kind of relates to some of these Black Friday deals though, kind of. So here's from Mac Rumors. It says Apple announces 2024 Black Friday event offering up to $200 gift cards. So it's basically a 4-day Black Friday through Cyber Monday event. So it's going to be coming up this Friday through the next Monday. Not this weekend, but the next weekend, depending on when you watch this, obviously. So November 29th through Monday, December 2nd. Long story short, if you buy any of these things, you get a $25 gift card if you buy the iPhone SE. You get the idea. You can pause it here, but like the AirPods 4, Apple TV, stuff like that, you get $25 discount or a gift card from them. If you buy this other stuff, like an iPhone 14, HomePod, Beats Studio Pro, all this stuff included here, iPad 10, you get a $50 gift card. You get a $75 gift card if you buy the iPhone 15, 15 Plus, iPad Air, AirPods Max. You get a $100 gift card if you buy the iPad Pro. And then you get a $150 card for the 13-inch MacBook Air M2, which is kind of a crazy thing. $175 gift card for the 13-inch MacBook Air M3. $200 gift card for the 15-inch MacBook Air M3. So you get the idea. $200 right there. That's pretty good. So you might want to consider that. I think you can get, I don't know how the whole discount works. If it's on top of something, you probably won't get the other. Who knows? You guys can figure it out. I'm just kind of giving you the information. But overall, some good information. Okay, so one hidden thing in these new MacBook Pros with the M4 chip that came out that a lot of people aren't reporting on, it uses a new screen technology that's actually better color gamut. So take a look here, Mac Rumors. M4 MacBook Pro uses quantum dot display technology. It says the MacBook Pro models feature quantum dot display technology according to a display analyst, Ross Young. Apple used quantum dot instead of the red KSF phosphor film to change that provides more vibrant, accurate color results. So for all it's worth, you're getting this as well. It also says that Apple has opted for KSM for the prior MacBook Pros because it doesn't use the toxic element cadmium, but now they're kind of switching that up a little bit. Long story short, if I show you this little diagram here, I guess this is all that really matters, is it's cheaper for them to do this new technology, I guess, for all it's worth, but it's also better. And if you look at this, this is from Ross Young. It says MacBook with KSF. This is the old phosphor. You can see this is the color gamut here. And then you can see the MacBook Pro with the QD or the quantum dots here. And you can see how much better it is here with this graph here. Now, personally, I look at that thing and I have no idea what it's telling me, but it looks better, right? Doesn't it look better to you? It's higher, bigger. Who knows, right? He's saying it's better, so it's better. But anyways, tell me if you guys notice a difference if you guys pick one of those things up. Just curious myself. And I just thought I'd report it. Okay, for this next little article here, this is more about the Mac Mini as well, and this is actually some good news. So right here from Mac Rumors, you may have heard about this before, maybe not. It says iFixit shares M4 Mac Mini Teardown right here. You can see it, and he's holding something in his hand here. What is that thing? So we're going to scroll down here. It says right here, iFixit is a little late to the Mac Mini Teardown, which means we have seen prior videos that provided some insight into the machine's internal components. We've already learned that one of the Mac Mini's modular storage that can be technically be upgraded after purchase, and iFixit confirmed that. iFixit swapped a 512 gigabyte SSD module from one M4 Mac Mini to another M4 Mac Mini that had a 256 gigabyte, and the swap was successful. So what does this mean? So they took two similar, M4 Mac Minis, and they took one storage out of one of them and put it into the other one, and it actually worked. So that means that they kind of upgraded from 256 to 512. Now that just means that, obviously Apple isn't going to be selling those, but there's going to be a lot of things on the kind of the market, like when things go bad on other systems, like maybe the CPU went bad or something, people will pull those things out and they'll probably be available so you could upgrade these later. That's huge. That may actually make you want to maybe upgrade the RAM a little bit more than the actual SSD. Who knows, right? Now, the unusual thing, though, is it said that they actually tried this between the Pro version, so the M4 Pro Mac Mini, and just the M4, and it didn't work. So those differing models didn't work at all because they're like different, and they're not different shapes and stuff, but the actual sticks, the little pieces that they go into are different shapes. So long story short, I mean, they can still fit in there, but they just don't acknowledge each other. But if you do like M4 to M4, it does work, and they believe M4 Pro to M4 Pro. So for all it's worth, this is coming. I mean, someone was going to obviously figure this out if they've done this. I'm not so sure why Apple did it, but they did it. Now, the memory is not upgradable, they said in here. It's soldered on and almost impossible to change. So for the memory, you got to get what you need. Okay, so with all these little Mac Minis coming out, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of videos like I talked about all the accessories and stuff coming out as they do. I always do that on my channel. You know my channel. If you've followed me, I've done this for years. Over here, though, this is what I'm going to definitely have to get for the Mac Mini. 9 to 5 Mac. It says Satechi M4 Mac mini stand and hub up to 4 terabyte extra storage, SD card slot, USB ports. So here it is. So I think it's going to be around January of 2025. So in about a month or two, this is going to come out. They're obviously just introducing it, but it's not out yet. And I'll get it. I'm going to try to get this, and hopefully they'll send it to me and I can go through a review. But it's basically this little hub down here. It's kind of a little weird because it obviously has basically an SD card reader, which we all want, right? But then it has two 10 gigabit per second USB-As and then one slower USB-A for like maybe a keyboard or something. But it doesn't give you any additional USB-Cs. But I guess there's 5 of them already on the system. So they're only giving you those ports. But the big kicker here is it's got a SD card slot in here as well at a 10 gigabit per second. You can throw in an M.2 drive into here up to 4 terabytes. Now that's going to be around like 1,000 megabytes per second, as we all know, because you still got the limit on the 10 gigabit per second connection and all that stuff. I wish it was Thunderbolt. Why aren't they making Thunderbolt 4? It's mind-blowing to me. If they did that, everyone would buy it, right? Every single person. But at the end of the day, they think this will be around $100 or so, somewhere in that range. So it still could be in a good addition to, adding some USB-A, which people wanted, I guess. I don't want them, but they want them. But the card slot and the SSD are huge here. So the 10 gigabits, but still, maybe good. So I'll have a review of this hopefully soon. But that's that news article there. Let's keep moving here. So let's just kind of move through this whole thing. So one thing I wanted to say here is this is from 9 to 5 Mac. It says M4 Mac release schedule. So that's not really what I wanted to cover here, but I wanted to show people, remember I talked about buying the M3 MacBook Air, should you buy that for that really good cost? Well, are you going to be getting a lot more with the M4? So we already know the M4 speed change, right? It's going to be faster. We know we have all the benchmarks. It's going to have, we don't know, I think it's going to probably be the 10 core, could be the 8 core, we don't know. But we know what the M4 chip is. That's what the Air is going to have. So what else is it going to have? It's not going to have a redesign. That's what they say. But what you're going to be getting, so if you're going to wait, you're going to get the new 12 megapixel center stage camera. You're going to get 16 gigabyte base, which the other ones did have 16, so take it for all it's worth. Upgrade neural engine with up to 38 trillion operations. So that's going to be key if you want to use a lot of AI. Improve battery life. I mean, I wouldn't take that. I'd take that with a grain of salt, maybe another half hour or something, not big. And then likely a nano texture display option. So if you want that, you may want to wait. Realistically, that's it. So you're going to obviously be getting the new M4 chip as well. And that's a big thing. So, I mean, for all it's worth, you're not going to be getting a huge change here. So if you find a really good deal, like incredible deal on the M3 or even the M2, and you just need it for some basic stuff, I mean, you're not going to notice. Most people, I mean, some people will, but a lot of people aren't going to notice the difference between those two chips. Trust me, they won't. So pick up, save your money. Don't pay Apple anymore. You need to pick up the older version. So it's just worth knowing what's coming. Okay, this next one over here is from Mac Rumors. It says Apple in 2025, what are they coming out with basically? And one thing, let me just kind of scroll down here. One thing a lot of people don't really realize that this is coming. Look at this thing. It's called the Home Hub. It says Apple's all-new smart home hub is expected as early as March. Is expected to be around 6-inch square display that is attached to a tabletop base with a speaker or mounted on a wall. The device is rumored to run a new Home OS operating system with a customizable widget-focused home screen. Is expected to support both Siri and Apple Intelligence. And it says sensors could detect how far away you are and adjust the size of the widgets. It'll allow you to manage HomeKit accessories and could double as home security system. So all this stuff's coming on this little thing. So I just wanted to kind of say this is coming pretty soon. And they keep changing the way it's going to look. You can see here, looks completely different. It's like a little square here. But I think a lot of people are saying this is what it's going to be. I don't know. Obviously, the iPhone SE, if this thing ever stops, iPhone SE 4 is going to be coming out here. So that's going to be coming out soon. I think they say it's around March. So that's going to be coming. The new AirTags 2 is coming as well right here. They said they're going to be doing a couple things to these. They're going to be making them harder to take off the speaker out of there for security reasons, like to tamper with it. But that's going to be also a little bit more accurate for sure. And they're going to be using different sensors and stuff. So if you want accuracy, it's going to definitely be upgraded there. Again, this is the stuff that's coming out kind of in the first half of 2025, not throughout the whole year. Then it says new iPad Air models, which is kind of unusual because they don't mention the iPad, the other ones, obviously, the iPad Pros, but I think those are coming out later in the year. So it says minor updates to the 11-inch and the 13-inch iPad Air models are expected in spring of 2025. They're not sure if it's going to come out with the M3 or the M4 chip, it says here. But it is saying that they don't think they'll probably come out with the M3 chip in this because they want to get away from that nanometer chip. It's just kind of that middle chip that it's kind of the the stepchild they don't want to have. So they basically are going to get rid of it. So they're going to go with the M4 chip. They're thinking, which would be really weird because then it would be the same speed as the Pros. But then the Pros will probably get a faster chip in the next couple months, which they don't even need, right? Nobody needs a faster chip on an iPad. The iPad 11 will be coming out. Take a look here. That's going to be a big, huge update. That should be coming out in the first half. It looks like in spring of 2025. And then the new MacBook Airs we just touched on here. Those are going to be coming out as well. So I think that's about it. So, and then all the other stuff later in the second half of the year to wrap it up. Okay, for this next one, I talked about this many times, how Apple's using ChatGPT right now, but they're going to ditch it in the future. A lot of people are saying, no, they're going to use it forever. I'm saying, no, Apple's just buying some time for them. And the other companies should probably realize that. But Mac rumors, Apple's working on LLM Siri for a 2026 launch. It says Apple is working on a smarter version of Siri that employees have taken to calling LLM Siri, reports Bloomberg. Apple is designing a more capable Siri to better compete with chatbots like ChatGPT, with plans to utilize advanced large language models. So they're going to be doing this for sure 100%, and they're going to be making it better and better, more secure, and then they're going to ditch the other ones. I've said this many times. So for all it's worth, I mean, this is what we expected, right? Apple was behind. I mean, I'm going to admit it. I love Apple, but they make a lot of mistakes too. They were behind on AI, and they're catching up. When they do, it's going to be perfected and good, but right now, it's a little bit of catch-up. Okay, so for this next one, we talked about the M4 Mac's MAX chip and how fast it was breaking all these CPU records. Well, what about the GPU? Right here, 9to5 Mac says Blender benchmark highlights how powerful the M4 Max's graphics truly are. So Apple released the new MacBook Pros with the M4, M4 Pro, and the M4 Max chips last week. And early CPU benchmarks painted a very promising picture for Apple's highest-end Max chip, right? But it's basically saying how fast are they basically on the GPU. And what they did is they actually went in here and they actually put these scores in here versus some of the big graphics card from the Windows side, right? Like the NVIDIA and stuff like that. It's really impressive. So right here, quite impressive, considering Apple's graphics are entirely on chip, unlike the discrete RTX 380 Ti and RTX 4070, which occupy significant space inside the computer. Take a look at this. So down here, you can see, well, this is Apple right here. Look at this. It's in the middle. It scored a 5208 here with 28 tests, but it's faster than the RTX 4070, and it's faster than the RTX 3080 Ti right there. And now it's just slightly under the GeForce RTX 3090 and the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 right here. So it's right in the middle. It's barely faster. It's barely faster than those, but barely less than those. So it's pretty incredible on this graph here. And this is how fast it is on an onboard chip like this. So, I mean, gaming is there. If they can actually just figure out a way to get developers to develop for it, because it's hard. They're saying it's really hard for Apple. Apple people don't like buying expensive games. They never have. They don't want to spend $40 or $50 on a game. They just don't do it for some reason. And they spend more money like on the Apple Arcade and stuff for all it's worth. But that has to change. Developers will come in and actually port their games over. And it's very, very capable, although most people aren't buying the Macs. Okay, you've heard me on this channel a few times where I always say, I always have storage solutions. I don't like to rely on the cloud at all because I just don't trust companies. I'm not saying this is going to be something that Apple's doing here, but I've heard of horror stories where the company goes out of business and you have all your stuff in the cloud and it's gone. I've heard that on other smaller companies throughout the years. I worked in a data center for 26 years. So here we go. Mac rumors. Apple's dropping support for iCloud backups on iPhones and iPads running iOS 8 and earlier. So starting next month, making a device backup over iCloud will require iOS 9 or later. Apple has informed some customers via email. New backups for iPhones and iPads running iOS 8 or earlier will no longer be supported, and Apple will delete all existing iCloud backups of those devices as well. Let's just say that again. Apple will delete all existing iCloud backups of those devices as well. So here we go. This is the issue. Let's just assume that you have a father or a mother or someone that has all this stuff in the cloud, right? And something happens to them and you can't get to it quick enough. And something like a year goes by and all of a sudden they have these rules popping up where you have to do something before they delete it and you just don't have any control of it, right? They can just delete it when they want to. This is the problem with this kind of stuff. So always have, physical backups as well. Don't rely on the cloud, because if you rely on the cloud, you understand how companies, they're all about money. Whether it's Apple or Microsoft or anybody else. And I rant on this channel all the time about this. Just don't trust anybody. Trust only yourself. Remember this time way back in the day when we all were kind of suffering with Apple people, Apple fans were suffering? Kind of brings back some kind of tears and sad memories. Mac rumors. So Apple ends Butterfly keyboard repair program for MacBooks. Apple's free Butterfly keyboard service program for select MacBook models ended late last week, nearly 6.5 years after it launched. So it's basically saying that, there was still going on where they were trying to fix the older, obviously MacBook keyboards. They were terrible. And we all went through that system with, having keyboard problems and where the keys weren't working, things would get underneath them. Well, that repair program is now over. And so just a note of caution, if you're going to be buying some of the older systems where you can find dirt cheap right now, you may not have as many capabilities of updating the keyboard if something goes wrong on those. So just make sure you get a really good price, and it might be worth it. Okay, if you're an Apple Arcade fan, I don't know how many people are on my channel, but there's some new games coming out, and we got a couple funny ones. So here it is from Mac Rumors. It says Apple Arcade adding these 15 new game titles through early January, which is nice. I mean, 15 new games here coming up. We have Talking Tom Blast Park. Tell me if you guys know any of these. Boggle, I know Boggle. Pac-Man, I know Pac-Man. Hot Wheels, I know Hot Wheels. I guess I know more than I know. Barbie Color. I want to throw a Barbie into a barbecue. Little Cities, Final Fantasy, I know that one. is it After the Years, Skate City, Gears and Goo, Three Kingdoms, Final Fantasy, Trials of Manta, Rodeo Stampede, and Literally Just Mowing. So this game, I want to talk about this game for a second. You know my rants, right? Literally Just Mowing. So I went ahead and I'm like, what in the world is it really what I think? And it is. The game is called Literally Just Mowing, Calm Down and Cut Nice Lawns. So they should rename the game, right? The game should be called Wasting Your Life. If you actually have nothing in life to do except go onto a video game and cut someone else's lawn, then I think you have an issue, right? I mean, post in the comments. Am I right or am I wrong? I think I'm totally right on this. In fact, I got to take a sip for this. Okay, here we go again. And I like these kind of rants here at the end, right? I hope you guys do too. But Apple stuff. So Apple stuff we all know is expensive except for this great thing over here. That little Mac Mini is one of the best deals in the world. But Apple stuff is expensive. But why is it? I don't know. And even when they come out with weird things, it's still expensive for some reason. Here we go. Mac Rumors. New limited edition Apple Music book. 100 best albums. Book cost $450. All right. So here's the book here. Now it is limited edition. I think there's only like 1,500 copies. So I guess if you can get your hands on it, it might go up in value. But still, $450, for a book, you can get that little Mac Mini there for the same cost actually when it's on sale. So you tell me, does Apple have to have everything expensive? I mean, even if it was $100 for a book, maybe people would buy it, but $450, you got to have a screw loose. Okay, so I'm going on some rants here. This is kind of weird, right? Not for my channel, but you know the idea. So I talked about this as well. And this is actually what Microsoft's doing kind of secretly. And this is what I'm afraid Apple could be doing too. Hear me out here. So over here, 9to5 Mac, it says Microsoft announces the new Mac, basically a Mac Mini size desktop PC that only works online. You can see this is a Windows machine there. So it's a Microsoft computer, it says, kind of, a competitor sort of. Now, without getting into the details, you may have seen this or not, but it's like this little device. It looks just like a Mac Mini, a little bit smaller, that can connect to their Office 365. And then when you go to work, that's your only computer because it's good for security. I give it that. It kind of keeps everything out. Security-wise, it might be good, but it's all cloud-based. It's basically, a thin client, more or less, right? It's just access to the web. And so I'm kind of thinking, like I said, all these companies want to go that way. Services are going up like this with Apple's revenue, Microsoft's revenue services. They want to get away from the hardware. And Apple was a hardware company. So what they're slowly doing, I think this is why they're only offering 256 gigs of space there on the base model, even though they should be offering like 1 terabyte as the base, because they don't want you to store anything on there. They want you to store it in the cloud, obviously, because they make more money. They make monthly revenue. And this is where it's all going to go. I mean, right now they're allowing you to buy the machine with the actual storage for a crazy cost if you want to add it. But eventually, they may not let you even do that at all. They may have no storage and only go into the cloud for storage. That's my biggest fear, is they're all going that way because the money's there. It's monthly revenue. As long as you live, you'll be paying for it, stuff like that. And you won't actually own the device. You might even get it for free, but then they're going to charge you for everything else. And I don't want it going that way. So if anyone sees it going that way, we all have to agree. We have to put some pressure on them to change it because it should not go that way. This one obviously has got some other things built into it for security and stuff. I understand it's more for business, but still. Not good. Okay, this next article kind of left me scratching my head. We're all waiting for that new kind of studio display to come out that's under $1,000, hopefully. But here we go. It says report, next gen Pro Display XDR to have quantum dot display. So the big news for this thing is last week Ross Young said that the new M4 Pro is the first Apple device to have the new quantum dot technology. He's just saying that he's got information that the new Pro XDR display has it too. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the Pro XDR display because I have a house and I don't want to have to remortgage it, right? Nobody's spending $5,000 or $6,000 anymore on a monitor unless you're crazy. This thing over here, you can get it for $599, $499, $499 on sale, and it's phenomenal. I mean, even $1,000 now for the Pro version or $1,200, is all you need. So you're not going to be spending 4 or 5 times that on a monitor. I think those days are over. So if they come out with this and they skip, updating, giving us another updated just regular Studio, I'm going to be disappointed. I want the regular Studio to come out first. I don't care if this ever comes out, the XDR. I know there's some people out there like that have companies and stuff that may want that, but leave it for like more business-oriented stuff and give us what we want. We want a Studio display, a little bit cheaper, faster, just a faster refresh rate, and maybe up to 32 inches, and we'll be happy. Okay, this next story here is something that am I the only one that thinks this way? And I just want to know this. I'm truly want to know. So post in the comments. Apple Insider, it says Apple Watch and Apple Vision Pro fabrics may get embedded medical sensors. So this thing goes on to say, I'm not going to get into the whole thing. It's got like a whole bunch of diagrams in here showing you what it does and stuff. But it's saying that they're going to be building these sensors into the bands, and it's going to be doing like your heart rhythm and like, your breathing and all this other stuff. Now, take it from me, from somebody that I don't, you go to the doctor, you get diagnosed with something, if you feel bad, or you go, once a year, that's fine. But is it just me, or do you want something on your wrist at all times that is constantly giving you like points in your life? Maybe you got excited about something. Maybe something happened and like your heart rate went up. Doesn't that make you more like rattled over time that could cause more problems in you when you're constantly thinking about your health versus just waiting a year, going to see the doctor, coming back? Do you want to constantly be notified of what's going on? I mean, I think it makes me more nervous. It makes me more unhealthy because then your stress goes up, your blood pressure goes up, everything. Am I the only one that thinks this way? I mean, I think I can't be, right? I think like this kind of stuff, it's good if you need it, but I mean, it just keeps getting more and more. And like, when are you going to be able to walk away from it all and just like enjoy your life? Look at the sky, rake some leaves. And then if you're raking, you're like, oh my God, my heart's going up. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to die. This is the kind of thing that people think, right? So is it just me? Post in the comments. I'm just curious. Okay, that was a lot of ranting at the end, but this is what we do on the weekends. We have some fun. We kind of tease Apple a little bit on the same time, but I praise them as well. Next week, a whole bunch of M4 Mac mini videos, a couple at least, or 1 or 2, because I got the Amazon Prime deal video and stuff like that, and we have fun on the weekends. Well, post in the comments. What do you guys want to see? This channel is all about that. It's not polished. I give you that. It's not going to be perfect, but it's more real. I do everything myself, including the editing. I have no life anymore. We'll talk to you in the future. Good. I'm going to die, choke to death here. Wow. Good Polish beer, I was about to say, but I'm not sure how good that actually is. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.